Hi, everybody. Welcome to episode 17 of the Culture Cousins podcast. I'm Tiffany,
I'm Zerrina.
and we are two cousins criticizing the culture, and we know that you can relate. I want to thank you all. We want to thank you all for watching. Hopefully, you will subscribe, like, share, comment. You can follow us on our socials. They'll be on the video and in the description. On this episode, we have a really good amount of topics that we want to cover. Hopefully, you all will enjoy them and be sure to stay tuned until the end because we are going to have a live reaction to Beyonce's new track, which I'm super excited about. And so, hopefully, that goes well. I'm sure it will. But we're going to go ahead and get started like how we normally do with our mental health check in. So, how you feeling?
I feel okay. Nothing really too much has changed from last time. I haven't really been that busy, just going out with my friends and stuff, and going out to eat a lot. And that's pretty much all I've been doing. I haven't really been doing much since last week.
Okay. Yeah, same here. It's been pretty content. Work is okay. I'm feeling good. Just like I guess mentally wise, I don't feel too stressed at the moment. Um, I feel like my creativity is like at a moderate level. You know. So not really any complaints here on this end. So that's great. So we're gonna start next with our table topic. So I'm gonna pick two random questions and we'll answer these. All right. The first one says, "What do you complain about more than anything else?"
Toxic family members.
Okay. For me, um, dang, what do I complain about? I try not to complain as much as I can. I'm really trying to think. I guess being annoyed. Like I feel like I'm annoyed a lot, and that's probably the most common or the most frequent thing I complain about. It's just the fact that I'm annoyed. Like, oh my god, this is so annoying. Like I say that, like I feel
Hmm
like I've lost count how many times I say that in a day. Um, Next question: What changes have you made to reduce your impact on the environment, or if you feel like you have any?
None.
Um, I can't say that there's anything currently, but I would like to. Well, I can't think of anything currently, but I feel like off and on I've tried to recycle, but that hasn't, stayed as consistent as I'd like. Um, I would like to go electric, like with my vehicle, and
hmm
stop having like a gas burning car. I don't know how much that'll help, but I feel like that'll be something. That's the only thing I can really think of at the moment. But that's all I got for that. I'm gonna take the ones that we do and put them to the side and make like I don't know something. I don't know. Related to our hot topics. So we are going to discuss this whole Lori Harvey, Michael B. Jordan um, fiasco that had the internet in an uproar. Um, so what are your thoughts on that?
I'm kind of glad they broke up because they were kind of cringy to me. Like their relationship didn't really seem that genuine. I don't know.
Mm,
Everybody got so attached to them. I felt like they were like kind of like the perfect girl, perfect guy type situation. Like they're both were like a little too perfect to be like. It's like they never show any type of flaws. Not saying they don't have any flaws in real life, but they never show it or talk much in interviews. You don't really know that much about either one of them. So it's just like they're both kind of boring to me. Like they don't really have much like oomph. Like it's just like okay, they look good together in pictures. That's what I got from it. Uh, And then like guys kept saying like how Lori Harvey was like kind of like the female future, but I mean I don't feel like that's true because I feel like she like people don't know what happened in the relationship for them to break up, or for people to assume like that she was just cheat on him or like she just wanted to like go and explore the options. Like there's nothing wrong with wanting to date more if you don't want to commit to this person. I mean that's better than cheating on him or whatever. Like she just wanted to move on. Like and who knows if he was actually good in the relationship or not. Like no one knows the aspects of their relationships to like comment on why she did this and why she did that. So I feel like that's unfair to her if it was like a real actual relationship because I really don't feel like it was that real to me
Yeah.
anyway. And I
Um.
feel like it kind of really like hurt her reputation in a way rather than like help her. But it kind of helped Michael B. Jordan because he's never been seen dating a black woman before, and it's like not saying Lori Harvey isn't a black woman. It's just like she's kind of like a not I don't know what's the word for it like very like that's like the bare minimum black woman if I can say if that makes sense. Like she's pretty light skinned, like skinny, like that's like the bare minimum. Like he's not dating Lupita or anything or like a Gabrielle Union or Flo Milli. He's not dating that type of girl. He's dating Lori Harvey. So it's just like that's like the closest you can get for him to a black woman.
Mhm.
So
I get that. That makes sense. Um. And you covered a lot of what I was gonna say about this because I was watching the Joe Budden podcast and he was talking about how it was a publicity stunt um because like they both were kind of struggling with their reputations and about Michael B. Jordan not being seen with a black girl and that kind of well fix that or helps like get that stigma away from him. Also, he said that there was rumors of him being gay. I never heard that, but he said that. And with Lori Harvey, like she was attached with like toxic dudes for the most part, and that was to help her clean up her side because he's like wholesome and all that. Um, but I feel like each woman is different. Like the way they categorize, like the way the stuff they say about Lori Harvey is like typical guy stuff. But I feel like every girl is different. I feel like there would be some women that if this was a real situation, and he's like 35, she's 25, some girls are gonna be like, oh, this is the dream guy. I can't get no better than this, and they would, probably say yes to that situation. And then you have other um women that would say, hey, I'm young, I don't need to be tied down, that type of thing. But I feel like if it's a real situation and the two people aren't happy, then they did the right thing by like not staying together. You don't want to get married to someone and then have to go through like divorces and like say for instance if you have children or something and get kids involved. Like if they feel like at this point where it's fairly new or fairly early in the relationship that it's not going to work out, yeah, just go ahead. And then you never know what may happen in life. Something may bring them two back together, just like how J Lo and her guy. So it's nothing wrong with it. That's a part of life. Those things happen.
mm-hmm.
I just don't think it was so like deserving of like the uproar that it caused. I'm like, calm down.
Mm-hmm.
Like people are
Right.
going crazy over
It's not like they were in the news that often anyway. Like every time they took a cute picture, that's the only time they was in the news. So I'm just like,
it.
who cares? They've been together for a long time. Like I don't understand. Like it was like a lengthy celebrity like relationship. Then I don't understand like the shock. But I'm just like I didn't know y'all was like attached to him like that. Like I don't know.
They did look really amazing together. I just remember always saying that, like when I saw the picture. I guess that's all you could say, but like just them as a couple were like beautiful. They almost remind me of the guy from Sisters. Although both of them I guess aren't famous, so this wouldn't really count. But the guy from Sisters, Giselle, who played Zach, his girl, they look kind of like similar, like how those two do, and
Hmm.
it's just the aesthetics of the couples. That's a good topic too, like best or a good like category, couple aesthetics. But yeah. So next, I want to move into something that I saw. Uh, did you have anything else you wanted to add to that?
Mm-mm.
Okay. So the Shade Room posted Jack Harlow says black women are a massive part of his career in teen mode. They'll quote, they'll never have to worry about not being credited by me. Okay, I'm about to go in. Well, I'm not about to go in on Jack, but I'm about to go in on this a little bit because to me this is somewhat of a pander like to the black audience, and I hate when I have to feel this way because I want to believe him, and I feel like he's, from what I've seen of him, he's kind of like a cool person. But I want to see like in 5 to 10 years if he still got the same kind of energy,
Mm-hmm.
because I've seen countless number of times where non-black people use the black, and I think I talked about this recently with like the weatherman guy, but like they use the black audience to kind of like elevate their career, and then when they get like super rich and done did movies and hanging with like George Clooney or something like that, then they start to like talk down or talk bad about black culture, or just kind of like um disassociate themselves from it. So with me, like the actions speak louder than the words, because I can't believe what people say. I have to see their actions, and that's how I know who is down with what they say, down for me, down for us, down for a culture, and be consistent with it. Because right now it's very early, and he's still trying to make a name for himself, and he has a KFC deal. Like I just want him to keep that same energy. And I feel like I'm gonna pin this and do a check in like on episode 350, is to
Right.
see where he at. But speaking of Jack Harlow, him and Drake are buddies. And Drake dropped this new album. Um, I haven't had a chance to listen to it yet, but I am gonna listen to it, and I'll have thoughts, I guess, next pod. But you have listened to this, correct?
Yeah, I listened to it. It's okay. It's kind of like More Life. His album More Life
Mhm.
has like that kind of like Afrobeat sound.
Mhm.
It's like it's not wasn't bad. It was just I wasn't expecting that from him, and it's just like it's not that I didn't like the songs. It's just like every time a new song started, it was the same like three like little beats in the beginning, and I didn't really like that because it's like I was listening to the same song over and over again. There was a few songs that stuck out to me that I liked, but other than that, it was like I think it was like 16 tracks, and I would say oh I didn't really
Uh oh.
like they like it because it's not anything sad or depressing or anything like that or about shooting people or nothing like that, which is a good thing. But um, I guess because I don't want to hear that kind of music from him because I feel like I like Drake the most when he's like rapping. That's just when I like him the most, rapping and like really rapping over those like really hard beats. That's what I
Mhm.
like him the most. Um, I like singing Drake too, but I just don't like him over these Afro beat tracks because like he sampled like a lot of R&B. Um, there's like a lot of R&B samples in there too, which is very like creative. I feel like, but it's just like it just does. I feel like some of the R&B tracks that he was sampling didn't mix in with the Afro beats. Like it was just kind of scattered, and I feel like I was like again, I was like listening to the same song over and over again, like it didn't really draw me in. It felt kind of like a rush because he just had an album like a few months ago. So just like okay, I didn't really like. It wasn't like it's definitely not my favorite Drake album, and I'm a big Drake fan, so that says a lot. Um, it's not hasn't been on like repeat for me.
Do you think like over time it could grow on you, or you like for sure like this is not it?
Well, I can never say like I hate it or anything, but I can listen to it again. But I feel like if I have to listen to it again, then it's probably not a hit for me Because usually
Mhm.
those things that stick, they just stick, and you just keep listening to it. I don't have to go back and re-listen to everything. So
Mhm.
it is what it is, but I can do without the Afro beats. Like, um, I like to hear Afro beats from actual artists that do that all the time, not just not saying as an artist you can't like explore other types of genres. Do what you want because not everyone has to like your art, you know. Because even if I don't like it, it's not a big deal. Like it doesn't mean I don't like Drake anymore, or Drake can't make another Afro beat project, you know. But
Mhm.
I just like to hear it more from like people who are from those countries and or
Yeah.
been or that have always been doing it and who don't automatically just decide to change their sound out of nowhere.
Mhm.
Um, I tend to like that more coming from them, but you know, I don't mind it. You know, I'm not gonna like I'm not mad at it or anything. It's just it wasn't my favorite.
Right. Okay. Well, I can't wait to take a listen and see how I feel about it. I don't recall like a lot of Drake albums like in full. I'm like I guess the casual listener to Drake, like stuff he has on the radio, a few of his album cuts, but not like full things. I think the most I've listened to a Drake album is the If You're Reading This It's Too Late.
Hmm.
Um that's probably the one that I can recall. But yeah, I can't really check it out. Okay, so now we are gonna talk about Saucy Santana's comments on Blue Ivy's hair. And for those of you watching who didn't hear or did not know what he said, basically somebody went through his Twitter and found where he made some comments about Blue Ivy and her hair, calling her nappy headed. And so yeah, how you feel about this?
I mean, I feel like his comments were wrong, but I hate that this happened to him because I felt like he was doing so well and he had so much support from. Well, I don't want to say he had that much support from the black community. Just he had his audience, and he had a lot of support from them. And I still want to see him do well. I still want him to progress and have his space because there's not many people that look like him maintaining a space in the media. That's why I hate this happened to him. But I also can't condone like the comments that he said either. Um, but I don't. I mean, it's like I kind of feel kind of both ways about it. Like I still like him as an artist, and I'm still gonna listen to his music, but I don't really like. I feel like he also needs to like get like more of a better PR team, maybe, and so they can like go back and like look at some of the stuff he got going on and delete it or tell him what to say and what not to say. Because I feel like he's not used to being famous yet, and he's just so used to being able to just say reckless things or say things that you kind of say at the dinner table with your family, just on Twitter or on stage. He's just used to just run like saying whatever he wants, and like I feel like sometimes as a celebrity you can't really say whatever you want. Like I mean, like Beyonce, like she doesn't really talk much. Like she doesn't really say too many like comments or anything except for when it actually matters. So I'm not saying every celebrity should be like that either, because I feel like at some point I feel like at some point like people want to see like who you are and what's your personality like. So I don't say you should be quiet like all the time, but I feel like you need to like be a little bit more. He needs to be a little bit more polished and know how he speaks about things. And I feel like sometimes he does a really good job at that because he has the authentic part down. Because when he's in like doing interviews like on the Breakfast Club and stuff, I feel like he gives really good interviews. Um, but like at the end of the day, you can't really control what you say in the past. I feel like what he should have done in this situation was like at least issue an apology to Beyonce and Blue Ivy only. Um, and I feel like all he can do is move on from it. But I feel like the right thing for him to do was should have been to apologize at least. Or I mean, I felt like he was getting there, but then he kind of lost it when he was like, "I'm not apologizing," like because his response to it was that he was like in a really bad place and he was younger and he was being a hater and that's what haters do and whatnot, and which is true. And I mean, I feel like that's a good thing to own up to. Like, I was being a hater back then. Like, those comments were reckless, but I feel like people were just kind of coming for his neck a lot. Um, because he said that. Um, and I feel like just the overall like discussion over Blue Ivy's hair keeps coming back up over and over again. And because you got people agreeing with his comments about her hair, and then you got people saying, "Oh, you shouldn't talk that way about a child," and stuff like that. And I just feel like, at the end of the day, this situation is going to keep coming up about her hair, her hair, her hair. And it's just like we can never like table the conversation because it just keeps coming up, whether it looks good or bad or whatever. And it's just like she's just a kid. Like at the end of the day, she's just a kid, and she doesn't really deserve all this scrutiny over her hair. And it's just like when she grows up and go to college, she's gonna be looking back, or she probably even sees it now. When we've seen all these things, and she's gonna have to deal with that on her own. But as far as I see Santana, like I don't want to see him like fail. I just wish he learned how to be more humble and like own up to his mistakes better. And yeah,
Okay. I do agree with you should have issued an apology. Um, I feel like the whole I was young thing. I didn't know the part about the hater part, but I did hear or see something where he said he was young and da 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 da. And I'm just like, just in general, I'm tired of hearing the "I'm young" excuse because I feel like more so when you're young, you're told like right from wrong or what you should or shouldn't do. And I just feel like sometimes people just kind of like abuse that, you know.
yeah. I feel like instead of saying I was young, he should have said I made a mistake.
Mhm.
You know.
Mhm. And I feel like he said he said it, and that's how he felt because he's someone that speaks his mind, and if that's how he felt, that's how he felt. But just be accountable for those statements. I don't think he really expected to see this magnitude of success, and he was just speaking freely, and that comes with consequences sometimes depending on what you're saying. But it wasn't just Saucy Santana that felt that way or spoke that way. A lot of people on the internet had talked about Blue Ivy and her hair. Not only her
Mhm.
hair, they was calling her names. Um, and like they had these pictures of like mixed babies, like saying that's what Beyonce baby should look like when
Yeah.
Beyonce and Jay Z were black. Like I just
Yeah, I feel
and
like people have like a weird obsession with celebrities and their kids. Like if it's a female celebrity that's kind of universally liked, they expect the child to immediately look like the mother, no matter what gender it is. And I feel like Jay-Z, people always call him ugly, and I feel like Blue
mm,
Ivy looks a lot like Jay-Z. So that's why they kind of because
you
she
kind of broke up.
looks like Jay-Z, and I feel like that's kind of wrong because I mean I feel like you're being kind of anti-black in that way because it like
100%.
because like Jay-Z, I mean he has big nose, big lips, and like he's tall, and Blue Ivy has like those same features,
She.
and those are all
Mhm.
very beautiful features to have, but people don't really see it that way. And now that she's growing up and she's starting to look more like Beyonce, as far as her hair and like kind of her bone structure, I feel like people are now they want to jump on the bandwagon and say that she's pretty, and I
I
feel
hate
like
that.
that's very very wrong. Um, because at the end of the day, she was the kid. Like she can't help the way she look, even though she is beautiful. It's just like she can't pick and choose her features, and it's like there's nothing wrong with them either. So I don't know. I feel like that's why people kind of always call her ugly because they feel people don't really like associate Jay-Z with like being like the finest man in the world. So when you come out looking like your dad, then people are gonna call you ugly and stuff like that, or nappy headed and whatnot. And it's just like now that Blue Ivy has like a cute twist out, everyone's like all here for it. But her hair texture is probably still the same. She just had like a twist out or whatever. So it's just sad to see.
And people are fickle. One minute they like you and say that you are amazing, and then the next minute, oh well, I'm over this, da 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 da. And it's crazy that people can simply like you for your hair, like
Hmm.
your hair just alone. It don't matter what your face look like. It don't matter what your complexion is. If you have a lot of hair, like I've witnessed this in like school and work, like women typically, and guys too if they have hair, but like more so women, like if they have a lot of hair, like they're gonna find a way to find something about them to praise. And I just don't get
Yeah,
what the obsession is with society. And I say that while I got bundles down my back, but I'm just saying, I I I don't place value in a person by their hair.
right,
Uh, and speaking of that, I wanted to touch on Lisa Ray because they talked about this on whatever show she's on, and she was saying that um I guess some baby, I guess her grandbaby, I guess. Um, and they were saying, well, and she said, well, Saucy Santana can't say that about so and so's hair because she's not nappy headed. And I was like, girl, you adding to the you were part of the problem with that statement.
right.
That's
She
not.
could have like after that she kind of had she was going in a good direction after she said that, but it's just like that debunks your whole like everything you're saying. Like it defeats the point.
Yeah.
Like I just yeah,
And my thing is, I agree with people when they were like, "Oh, well, she's just a child," so and so. My thing is, well, they were saying she's just a child, so people shouldn't be so critical of her. But people shouldn't be so critical of people regardless, whether you're a
yeah,
child, a teenager, adult, old person. Like, just relax. I don't. It's
right.
it's disgusting sometimes. Now we're gonna do what's super exciting for me. Um, I'm gonna play a clip because this well I just saw this to, well, I guess the announcement happened yesterday about Beyonce releasing her track or single. So we're gonna do a little live reaction. Um, so I saved it, so I'm gonna play a little bit, but I probably have to put something over this when I edit it so they don't do like the copyright thing. But I'm gonna take my first listen. Live world premiere. That's back in the MTV days. Predictions. I want to talk predictions really quick for this era, this album. I wanted to talk predictions, but I really don't have predictions because I feel like Beyonce reinvents herself every single album, every era. Renaissance. The name just kind of tells me that it's gonna be something classic. Something. And then it says Act One, so that means that there's more, which gets me excited because I could never like have enough. Um, so I'm trying to pull it up as I speak here. Okay, here we go. Okay, the vocals are giving. I'm trying to process what I heard in like what 15 seconds. Um, this is her brand new single. Right, myself on the image. It says that this is number 6. In the album. Um, I don't know. First of all, like I'm trying to separate my excitement with actual like critique. You wanna say anything in the meantime while I get myself together?
Um, wasn't expecting like that sound. Um,
Mhm.
it sounds like good. Like sounds like a nice song. I'm just like excited. Really just excited to see what the whole album sounds like. Um,
Mhm.
I just anticipating like, is this gonna be just like that kind of sound, or is it gonna be like something else, or like is Act One gonna be different from Act Two? Like, will it be like a switch up between? Will we get that first and then something else in Act Two? Like, I'm just looking forward to like music videos and stuff like that. So it's exciting.
Yeah, I feel like, and I wanted to do this, but I feel like with Beyonce, you can't critique it. You just kind of like sit along for the ride, like
Yeah.
wherever this work, this piece of art, takes you. It's kind of like you're just because she's so highly um renowned, I think. Um, like you don't question it. You just kind of like you just. It's almost like hold on. The vocals when it first come on, ooh, that's my favorite part. Well, of this clip. Um, that almost reminds me of like on Family, the song Jay Z song Family Feud, like when it's
Mhm.
either first coming on or at some point in it, and she's just doing like I don't even runs. She's doing these runs, and they just sound like so heavenly. Like in my head, I feel like if you were to go to heaven, like this would be the track, like the soundtrack of the entering. Like,
Um,
but yeah, I I don't know. I don't have no critique for Beyonce. I can't critique Beyonce. Beyonce is just Beyonce. Um, but yeah. So we're gonna have to do a full album review or whatever she whatever she puts out review and when the time comes.
right.
But uh oh, we also went to see Jurassic World Dominion. So we can kind of talk about that at the closing of this. A quick little review of that. I'll go first. So I am a Jurassic Park, Jurassic World hive. Um, I would say that this movie did not disappoint me. Um, I was like on edge majority of the movie, but that's me in any thriller. But there was a lot of nostalgia in there, and that aside from the characters, the main characters from Jurassic Park coming back, um, they recreated all the classic scenes, um, and I think going into it, I expected it to end like dinosaurs were done, but it didn't end that way, which was nice. Um, and um, I like the part about if you followed the franchise, I like the fact that the youngest girl in there, the girl that was like identified as a clone, like she found more about her story and her
Mhm.
like what she thought was the reason why and what actually was. I like that they touched on that. We talked about DeWanda being in there, and I like her character. I think she's a nice addition to the film. I can't remember their names. Oh my god, I can't remember this. But the newer man and woman from the newer version, I liked how their chemistry throughout the movie, and I also liked how they mixed the older with the new. Like they did
Mhm.
that
Yeah.
perfectly, I would say. Um, but yeah, that's my main points.
Mhm. I thought it was a good movie. I'm not like that as much into Jurassic World, but I watched it enough to like know what's going on. But it has a lot for me because I really don't like action movies like that. Um, I feel like the graphics for like the action scenes were really good. Um, I feel like it would have been better if it wasn't like the last movie. Like it didn't like give like it didn't make me feel like until it was the end and like of course it didn't say like okay this something else is gonna happen or it didn't seem like there was gonna be another one and whatnot, but like I feel like up until that point it wasn't really giving like the last movie. It was giving like oh there might be something to come after because like they kind of rushed the ending like I was like okay it was like so much trouble was ahead, and then it patched up in like the like last 2 minutes. Like, okay, all the dinosaurs are good now. Like, we can go off into. It's like they kind of still got the same problem, if you ask me. Like, that's what happens at the end of every movie. The dinosaurs kind of go off on their own, and then they come back. So I'm just like, okay, guess they're not gonna come back this time. And they were, but other than that, it was a good movie because it was Jurassic World, so it was the same like kind of like premise, which I liked. But it was a good movie overall. I feel like.
Okay. Cool. Well, that wraps up episode 17. Again, make sure to follow us on socials, like, subscribe, share.